Made with ingredients banned in Europe and known to the state of California to cause cancer, this is the Daniel and Natal Show. Speaking of ingredients, a few months back there was a furor about the hypocrisy of the global elites at the COP27 climate change conference who were trying to normalize people eating bugs as they stuck to a menu of beef, chicken, fish, dairy products, and $125 cocktails. This same group of cosmopolitan technocrats were just at the posh Davos summit held by the World Economic Forum, again calling for people to stop eating meat to help the environment.
It's a very important point that you are addressing. My daughter, 24, inspired me and said that how can you advocate for these zero carbon value chains if you still eat meat? And so I stopped eating meat. Now the math would say, well, you need to stop eating meat 11 years to compensate for a flight to Thailand. Yes, but if 1 billion people stop eating meat, I tell you, it has a big impact.
This behavioral inconsistency on the part of the elites is not, of course, limited to food. They also advocate for us to drive around in electric vehicles where the car seats are propped on top of dangerous EMF-emitting batteries comparable to a cell phone tower, while they themselves prefer to drive around in traditional gas-powered vehicles, as this interviewer found out when she talked to one of the chauffeurs, the VIPs.
I just interviewed one driver. He was very nice, but he said it was stressful yesterday. Okay, now I'm going to interview one of the driver. He does not prefer to show his face, but agreed to the interview. I'm so grateful. I saw Uber cards.
Yes.
On the side, it says 100 electricity.
That's right.
Yes.
All Tesla and all electricity, because here they need without gas or without petrol, only electricity to drive here with Uber. Yes, I know that.
What about your car?
My car is normal because for VIP I cannot drive electricity auto.
Yes. I had this question occurred to me.
Yeah.
That electricity cars, for example, Tesla,
yeah.
Many in other different countries, sometimes it like an accident or if there is no electricity.
It's very dangerous because I locked out if you have some problem over the brand out.
I just interviewed one driver. He was very nice, but he said it was stressful yesterday. But then I asked about the 100% electricity powered cars, and he said it's dangerous.
This is, of course, part and parcel with an interview that we showed about a week ago, where an airline pilot says that the same VIPs who insist that the unwashed masses use pilots that are participating in worldwide medical experiments insist upon purebloods for their own airplanes.
And the US Freedom Flyers, Josh Yoder, he's the head president of the US Freedom Flyers. He said they're getting calls now from wealthy businessmen and companies to fly their executives around on business jets with unvaccinated crew. Now, they get the luxury of being able to choose because there are still a large amount of crew available in the United States who are not vaccinated because the companies they work for didn't mandate it. And
yes.
these wealthy businessmen are requiring unvaccinated crew on their business jets. Now, passengers of an airline buy a ticket don't have that luxury.
So basically, what we have here is an elite class of narcissists who want to enjoy the lifestyle you've grown accustomed to, while phasing it out for the middle class. Just like they want to phase out their pay, as Chrystia Freeland talks about at the World Economic Forum here.
And this is what he said when I talked to him about what's going on in the American middle class. We demand a higher paycheck than the rest of the world. So if you're going to demand 10 times the paycheck, you need to deliver 10 times the value. It sounds harsh, but maybe people in the middle class need to decide to take a pay cut. Again, not untrue if you're looking at the dynamics of the global economy, but politically and socially, a very difficult thing.
Essentially, as we discussed before, growth rates in the West were falling. Instead of making up profits via productivity, the elites decided to steal from the middle class. Basically, the average worker today, thanks to technology and the advent of email and fax machines, is 4 times more productive than a worker back in 1970. Did you get paid 4 times as much for that work that you put out? Of course not. You're actually making slightly less when adjusted for inflation than a worker in 1970, yet you're turning out 4 times the profits. All that extra money isn't going to you, but is going to the shareholder class. Since 1970, they've embezzled about $50 trillion from the working class by this method. As the global economy goes deeper into recession, and some think depression, their solution is to steal even more money from the middle class to keep up their lavish lifestyles. You have to eat bugs or live in a tiny house the size of a mausoleum so that the World Economic Forum crowd can continue to jet set. They tell us that there will be belt tightening, but they don't plan on any belt tightening for themselves. The New American Magazine is guided by our support of the U.S. Constitution and the principles upon which that document is based. We want to restore and retain the values and vision that made America great: limited government, the liberties our Constitution guarantees, and the personal responsibility a free people must exercise to stay free. To learn more, subscribe to the magazine. Visit thenewamerican.com.